Welcome back to the Edge Outdoors. That's right, I said the Edge Outdoors. It was EJ Outdoors, and as you might have seen on a couple episodes ago when we had the sit down with Delana and I, and we talked about blending the name, getting her initials in there as well. So now it is the EDJ Outdoors. And when you say that fast, it's the Edge Outdoors, not spelled the other way, but our own little twist on it, kind of a clever little name with our initials. So we're going to roll with that. It is the Edge Outdoors with Eric Johnston and Delana Johnston, or Delana Johnston and Eric Johnston, whichever way you prefer. What we're doing tonight is we're going to a spot that I have not hunted yet this year, and I can't believe I haven't hunted it because it's late November, but it takes a special kind of wind. Not so much straight out of the south, not so much southwest, but kind of in between there. I know that's really picky, but this spot is a spot that I call the road stand, and it's our access. It's along our access road to get into the main food plots. And it also makes a Y in there, and it's on the backside of one of the thick bedding area, actually what I've been calling the west thicket, as you've seen on some of these other videos. And it takes that special wind, and the wind's really got to be blowing too. And I don't know if you can hear the corn rustling next to me. I'm parked right out by our far food plot of corn, and it's blowing pretty good out here. Running a little bit behind, had my work Thanksgiving party this afternoon, great meal. We're going to go in, we're going to try this stand tonight. We still got that doe tag in our pocket, and we're going to see what we can get done on the Edge Outdoors. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Very important here. Don't forget this. I'll be honest with you, there's a backup one in my pack. I'm not going to tell you which time I forgot it this year, though. That's why you carry a spare. Always be prepared. I was a Boy Scout once, long time ago. But, all right, we're going to make our way in. Here we go. Once again, you can see this is another one of the access trails. This is through the set-aside. Fortunately for me, I didn't have to do this one. This is a nice wide one. The landowner was very, very generous in helping me across this set-aside fields with the access trails. This one would have taken me a while to get down with my little riding mower, but so fortunate for me, I can thank him tremendously for this trail to get across here real quiet. Like I said, we're sneaking in with the perfect wind on this deal, and looking forward to a good night. It really feels good out here, so stay tuned to the Edge Outdoors. If you like what you've been seeing, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us out. It helps keep us going on this channel. It makes Delana happy, and she's a teenager, so when she's not cranky, it's nice around the house. So hit that subscribe button, even just for Delana's sake. So stay tuned. We're going to see what we can get done tonight on November 22nd. So as you can see, when I said the road stand, it's an access road for us to get to the food plots. But Picture an old logging road, but without the logging, so I'm gonna get super quiet now. We're gonna get up in the tree. Alright, we are in the tree. And I'm fairly certain I got in clean. We're probably only, we're within 100 yards of where they've been. And the wind's strong enough that I feel like we got in here clean. So we're going to do a quick check of the wind here. So if you watch that go, I'm a little nervous about the way it went towards that thicket. I was hoping it would go more right up to the north as the way this land lies, and I think some of the time it does, but when I threw that bundle out, for whatever reason, this spot has always been very tricky. It's very, very tricky to hunt because the wind, there's no real terrain feature here, but the way this lies with the road, there's a little bit of a pond to my left. And of course that's dry with the drought we've had, but I think for whatever reason that pond, that opening stirs that wind and it'll swirl in here a little bit. But what I'm set up for tonight is right in front of the stand here now. So if you look out that way, there's a trail that comes down like this and it goes right out to the road, and they cross the road right here. And then they actually, instead of going out the road, they continue through that right there, and they work their way up through the brush and out to feed that way. This morning when I did a camera check, 4 or 5 does come through here and went back into that bedding area. We have a perfect wind for that situation. The only thing that's gonna bite us is if something comes out of the backside of that thicket. And the reason I think something does have a possibility of coming out of that thicket is right there is the opening to the end of that 300-yard long trail that I busted through that thicket. So something could sneak out that. Like I said, I have not hunted this stand yet this year, so we jumped in it tonight. It's different scenery for you guys, especially myself included. And I think it's a pretty good chance at a 15-yard shot on a doe. And we can get in and out of here without disrupting the property too much. I would have loved to have, hunted the food plot again and seen a dozen deer, but I'd really like to get that tag filled, and I think focusing on this is the ticket. So we're going to settle in. Thanks as always for watching The Edge Outdoors, and hopefully I bring you some action here this evening on November 22nd. Stay tuned. So, since I haven't been in this stand yet, one thing I always like to do, because I put this stand up in March, and luckily it's good and trimmed out, but one thing I always like to do is take a couple practice draws, and I've got the camera mounted to the bow right now, so follow along. So we're looking good to go. And I'm not going to try and bore you guys with a bunch of chatter. But one last thing I thought about as I was headed to the stand tonight, actually beforehand, I got a video out there on scent control, but in a situation like this, I'm really worried about my scent because that wind swirls. One thing a lot of guys forget about, they do their shower, they do their washing the clothes, whatever, keeping body odor to a minimum. Our biggest producer of scent, well, I shouldn't say biggest, but one of the biggest producers of scent on our human body is our mouth. So what I like to do is I always have my Nomad mask here. And when I settle in, I'm going to cover my face up. And even when I pull this down, I'm going to try as much as I can to breathe through my nose. To add to that, when I get out of the shower, I brush my teeth with a baking soda toothpaste, not a minty fresh or anything like that, just a plain, I think it's Arm & Hammer baking soda toothpaste. So just one of them things that guys often overlook. Maybe not, but just something that really popped in my head today. Get you one of these off Nomad. Not only keep you warm, but keep your scent to a minimum. So, alright, we're going to settle in. We got about an hour and a half here to go, so see if we can get you some action. That right there is that's a mock scrape that I made back in, oh gosh, I made that in May, June, somewhere in there. And they didn't do anything with it. They messed with it a little bit, like through July. But for whatever reason, they never messed with it. Just, I think I was through here last Sunday on that land tour. And you probably saw that video. And I come by that scrape and it was opened up. And now today it is wide open and freshly worked. So it took them forever. I thought that was one for sure that wasn't working, but they're on it. So just a little interesting fact as I pass the time here. But I think it's about 3:45 now, so we got until 5-ish. 5-ish. The does have been coming out of here about 4:30, so we're getting there. Well, as you can see, the sun's getting down there. I have not seen a deer yet. It's oddly calm in here as far as deer activity. I did hear something snorting to the south, like way down there, a couple hundred yards away. It really didn't have nothing to do with us, but it carried up through the woods. I could hear it, just one short snort. I still got confidence. I think when I came into this spot tonight, it wasn't to see a bunch of deer, it was to see the right deer for the goal tonight of getting a nice doe taken out of the herd. One thing I didn't touch on earlier, one of the reasons I came to this spot as well is down to the south, it's about a 40-acre corn patch, maybe less than that, but that has since been harvested, and last week it was also chisel plowed, so there's really no food other than our small food plots on that south end, so a lot more deer have been traveling through to get up to the north end here where the food is at, and that's why I'm in tight quarters tonight and on one specific trail, so it has to be just right for us to get a chance tonight, but I'm still confident, so stay tuned to the Edge Outdoors, and I hope the next time you see me here we got some deer movement. Alright, I finally spotted a deer. That was quick. I just got done with that last interview. Kind of back in towards this southeast. There's kind of you can't call it a ridge, but it's a higher spot in all this, and it's kind of thick. And it looked like a doe moving along that, but I'm not sure if she's going to come out this way or keep heading straight west. Like, it looked like she was on a westerly path, but okay, she's getting a lot closer now. Might actually have some footage here shortly. Well, sometimes you can have the best laid plan, and they did exactly what I was expecting, but they came out at 40. Mama and her yearling. We still got time though. It's interesting. You think you can have them just pinned down, and there they go up the edge. They're doing exactly what I expected, but every other time the last few days they've been right in front of the stand. I could have stopped her. It might have been, I don't even know if it was 40, it might have been 35, but we'll get better shots than that, so, now they're running back, something's got them bugged. I'm honestly not sure what's going on here. They're not. It appeared they were spooked, but it looks like a doe trying to chase her yearlings off, but I don't know, here she comes again. Really not sure what's going on. Now they're headed back to the north, and I've got a yearling right behind me that I could probably smoke, but and it's a doe, but there's a couple of big does in here. One of them is her right there, but that need to go. But I got so sidetracked on what the heck was going on that. Oh, here he comes. was a lot of fun. Now I know what was going on. I just didn't see them bucks down to the south. That was 3 different bucks on her. But what I didn't understand was why she had made it all the way that far north and then came running back. I don't know if there was another little buck up to the north or what, but these 3 came from the south. That they're all 3 small, but that 8-pointer that come right under me here, that's another one I've been kind of eyeing for Delana. That 8-pointer is actually a 3-year-old buck, believe it or not. He don't have a ton of potential, so he would be a perfect deer for Delana. Well, we'd really like her to get that short G410. That eight right there would be pretty dang cool too. So we've had us one fun evening that was quick and intense for November 22nd. I mean, the rut is on that down slope now, but that doe must be in heat because she's bringing them around. Icing on the cake would be if that short G410 had come cruising through now and get some footage of him too, but stay tuned. I'm not going to quite close this out yet. Alright, so we got about 20 minutes left of legal, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this episode out this evening. If we get any action here, I'll come back to it, but what we had tonight was we have a rising moon, we had high pressure, and we had cooler temps finally come in. It's been pretty warm here in Northeast Iowa for the season, seasonally warm, the last week or so, and then we had a couple cold fronts come through, and today's high was in the low 40s. That got the deer moving more in daylight. Typically in this late November area, I'm going to go ahead and call it late November now because it's November 22nd. Things are winding down. There's still a few does in heat. Bucks are still seeking, but they've all got to get back on food. The bucks especially have got to get back on food. They need to replenish, basically carb load, to get fueled back up headed into winter. So what I was doing tonight was with that rising moon, high pressure, the perfect wind on a stand that I don't hunt very often, but I had the perfect wind for it finally. Just made our way in, got in here clean, and we got to see some rut activity. There's, that there is a doe that is still in heat, and 3 bucks, possibly 4. That had to have been something up to the north that bumped her back this way. Just a real quick flurry of action there while they were all still headed for food. As we roll on in towards December now, that's going to be their focus, and that's going to be my focus to try and fill this doe tag. And then when we get into the gun season, my focus is going to be 100% on food, and we've got plenty of it in here yet. Plenty to go around as we move towards that. But the big keys tonight was rising moon, perfect wind, high pressure, and right location. Like I said, I wasn't angling to see a bunch of deer. I was hoping to see the right deer, and she just came out too far away. And then when she did get under me, she was running. I've got time. I didn't want to do something to stop her and spook all the other deer and everything. So those were the keys tonight. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanksgiving tomorrow. Enjoy time with your family. Introduce them to the Edge Outdoors. Show this at the family gatherings. I'd appreciate it if you did that. Subscribe. Like I said at the start of this episode, you'd make Delana a really happy young little girl if you hit subscribe. So until next time, next episode, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, from the Edge Outdoors. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Welcome back to the Edge Outdoors. That's right, I said the Edge Outdoors. It was EJ Outdoors, and as you might have seen on a couple episodes ago when we had the sit down with Delana and I, and we talked about blending the name, getting her initials in there as well. So now it is the EDJ Outdoors. And when you say that fast, it's the Edge Outdoors, not spelled the other way, but our own little twist on it, kind of a clever little name with our initials. So we're going to roll with that. It is the Edge Outdoors with Eric Johnston and Delana Johnston, or Delana Johnston and Eric Johnston, whichever way you prefer. What we're doing tonight is we're going to a spot that I have not hunted yet this year, and I can't believe I haven't hunted it because it's late November, but it takes a special kind of wind. Not so much straight out of the south, not so much southwest, but kind of in between there. I know that's really picky, but this spot is a spot that I call the road stand, and it's our access. It's along our access road to get into the main food plots. And it also makes a Y in there, and it's on the backside of one of the thick bedding area, actually what I've been calling the West Thicket, as you've seen on some of these other videos. And it takes that special wind, and the wind's really got to be blowing too. And I don't know if you can hear the corn rustling next to me. I'm parked right out by our far food plot of corn, and it's blowing pretty good out here. Running a little bit behind, had my work Thanksgiving party this afternoon, great meal. We're going to go in, we're going to try this stand tonight. We still got that doe tag in our pocket, and we're going to see what we can get done on the Edge Outdoors. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.